Hi, this is Chris Goldie with the Goldie Group at Keller Williams here in Southern Maryland. And today I wanted to talk to you about what's going on in our current market with sellers. And if you're putting your house on the market, you're going to wind up with multiple offers in almost every price range. How do you pick which one is the best? How do you know? So here's a few things that we use to help our sellers sort through some of the offers. The first one is, what's the highest net? Which offer is going to put the most money in your pocket? And that's obviously where we want to go first, but that may not always be the best one. Someone may have written a really high offer that we know there's no chance the appraisal is going to come in. Someone may have written an offer that has no closing help, and in our follow-up and some of the things I talked about, maybe we find out that the buyer really can't close that way. So we want to go and look at which one's going to put the most money in your pocket first, but that may not always be the best offer to take. Step two, or second thing to consider, is the pre-approval. We're going to actually call the lender, we're going to talk to the lender, and we're going to find out what they did for the pre-approval. There's so many lenders out there right now that are pulling the person's credit, asking them how much money they make, telling them, okay, great, you can buy this. That's a pre-qualification, but they're sending over a letter that says they're pre-approved. The pre-approval is something different. With a pre-approval, what has happened is the lender's gone through, they've looked at the person's credit, they have looked at their pay stubs, they have gotten documentation of cash on hand that they're going to need to close, and confirmed all of that. And we're also going to ask them, do they need closing help? Because the lenders will often tell you, yes, the person really has to have X number amount of closing help, or no, they don't. And then that will also give us a point to counter back if they don't and they ask for some in order to increase your net. The third thing is inspections, timeframes on inspections. What kind of inspections do they want? And what are they asking for after the inspections? Right now, with buyers paying top dollar for houses, we do see scenarios where buyers are coming in after the home inspection and using it as an opportunity to renegotiate the entire contract. They're providing a laundry list of items to the seller, asking them to correct all these items, and sometimes running up bills of $10,000 worth of nitpicky repairs that they'd like the seller to do, based on the fact that they're paying top dollar for the property. What we're looking for, if we can get one, is somebody who has either waived their inspections or somebody that has said, hey, we're going to do our inspections for informational purposes only, and we won't ask the seller to repair a thing. This works on a home inspection, but this won't work on things like septic inspections, well inspections, things that might be required by the lender or will be required by the lender if they were to fail or come up deficient that you're going to have to repair. But for a home inspection, the ideal scenario is you'd like to see somebody that's doing a home inspection for informational purposes only, or completely waiving the home inspection, which is a gutsy thing I would not recommend to do for any buyer client that we're working with. The next is the closing date. Does the closing date work for you? Are you looking to sell your home and rent it back for a period of a couple months while your next house is being built? Maybe if you're moving to new construction. Will the buyer work with you on that scenario? Do you really not want to leave for 90 days because of a job relocation? So will the buyer let you wait to close until 90 days when it's time to leave? So we're looking for a closing date that matches with what you want, or a buyer that's negotiable on that. And we can have a conversation with the buyer's agent to find out if all other terms of the offer look great. And we do on a regular basis. And the last thing is the earnest money deposit. As a seller, the contracts in the state of Maryland are written in such a way where you're probably never going to get the buyer's earnest money deposit. There's a lot of clauses and contingencies announced for the buyer, and the buyer can walk away a lot of times at the last minute. You as the seller are still never going to get the earnest money. And most buyers, and with the exception of first-time home buyers, are going to realize this as well. However, we want to see if they're putting up an earnest money deposit that's enough money that it shows they're serious. It's not unusual in our market to see earnest money deposit on a $400,000 house of $1,000 because of that reason I just listed. Everybody knows that there's almost no chance the seller's going to get it. But if you see somebody come in with a higher one in a multiple offer situation, that's going to show they're serious. In fact, when working with buyers, one of the things I recommend is they write an earnest money deposit that's equal to how much ever cash they're going to have to bring to closing. They got to write that check anyways. Might as well write it at the time they write the offer. So these are the things that as a seller's agent that we're going through with you to make sure that you're looking at on every offer you receive in a multiple offer situation. Make sure you select the best possible offer.